Welcome back to my layout today. We're working on Magic Water, pouring a river and mountain stream. Magic Water is a new product that we just have taken on at Scenery Solutions. It's actually designed for water effects, so it's a great product to use, very user-friendly. It doesn't yellow, it doesn't crack, it doesn't create the bubbles like some of the other resin products do. It is a two-part mixture, and you can dye it with dyes or oil paints to create whatever color if you don't want a clear stream. The other neat thing that Magic Water offers are these preformed ponds, and it makes it very easy to place a pond inside your diorama or layout. They've got all kinds of different shapes and sizes, and you can get a lot of different ones. And you can look at those on our website. The Magic Water itself comes in 3 different sizes: the small size for small projects, a medium size which does most of the ponds and rivers, and then they do have an extremely bigger 96-ounce jug if you do a lot of water or a lot of projects. These are what the preformed ponds look like after they're poured. And we do these and sell them this way. If you would rather not do one yourself, we will custom do whichever shape you want. Also talk to us about the details and whether you want a mossy pond or what the look you're going for, and we will custom make those for you. But they're very easy to do. They look very nice. You can paint them to get a lot of depth in the water. So that's what the Magic Water is. Another thing I want to touch on just real quickly, we'll back up to some of the earlier video we did in building this mountain scene. I get a lot of questions on how I do the foam and how I work with it. You know, there's nothing very special about cutting it. I use a lot of different tools. This keyhole saw. I do have a wire cutter that I use. These extendable blade knives work well because they're long blade. You can go through different thicknesses of foam. The rasps, I love the rasp and the little U-form kind of a plane type of thing. And it is kind of messy, but one other thing that I do that I didn't mention in the other videos is I kind of make these up. I glue them in pieces, but I don't glue them in place until I have them pretty much ready to go. So what I can do is I can take it out in the yard, file it and cut it, and I'm not making a big mess on my layout. But the other thing that's handy is to have a vacuum, and you have the hose in one hand and you're working with the other to kind of keep the mess cleaned up. A couple other things I'll point out here real quick before we pour the water. And again, the waterfalls that I do, I use this DAP Crystal Clear 3.0 caulking, and if you can come around here, you can kind of see where that caulking goes down those rocks, and it's a good clear color, and it will stay that way, but the silicone does have to be sealed, so we'll pour the Magic Water and let it go down over the top of that, and that will seal that silicone so it's not tacky and dust will collect to it. Oh, here's another tip. Everybody asks me what I use on the gluing the foam together. I use this Loctite all-purpose. It's a very good glue on the foam. It doesn't eat into the foam, but it does grab it and hold it secure, and it doesn't take as long as to dry as the regular foam board adhesive. Let's scoot out here and I'll show you another thing. Down here on the front, and mistakes happen, and I do them, everybody does them. When I cut my fascia, I forgot about the depth and pouring the water, so my water would have ran right out and on the floor. So what I've done here is just taken a piece of plexiglass, and I like the plastic. You can use styrene or this clear plexiglass, and just glue that, silicone it to your fascia, and once that water sets, then you'll be able to peel this off. Now I'll probably have to sand that a little bit and touch up the paint on the outside, but it'll look good, and that's, you know, mistakes can be made, but there's always a way to fix it. But you can kind of look back in here a little bit. You can see more of the the silicone there that I've created the rough water, and again we'll touch that up after the magic water is poured. We'll put some white froth highlights on that and really make them stand out. So we'll be back here shortly and pour some water. Okay, we're going to pour some water now, and again we're using the magic water. It's a two-part epoxy. This mix, it's not an equal mix, but all the directions are in it. And what I do, I found a little mixing pot at the home store, and it's got a lot of different mixes on it, so it's pretty easy to mix up. We've also used the dye kits, and to this I've got about 7 drops of the amber or brown, 3 drops of green, and a couple drops of blue. And for the most part, a mountain stream is going to be clear. I just like to add a little bit to it, and it may look pretty dark there in the pot, but it's actually, once you pour it, it's going to look pretty clear. But just adding a little dye tends to blend in everything real well. One thing you need to remember is mix this very thoroughly. Mix it for a good 2 minutes, just to make sure that both parts are completely mixed up, and that your dyes, if you put dye in it, that they're mixed in real good. Okay, again at the top and bottom of the stream, in the earlier videos I mentioned this mirror I put up here. What I did at the back of the mirror to the painted plaster cloth, I just put a little bit of clear silicone sealant so that the epoxy won't leak out. So that's all sealed. And then again at the bottom where the stream ends, I've got that clear latex caulk in that against the plexiglass, so none of it will leak out there. We're going to go ahead and start pouring, and just try to kind of pour it right in the middle of your stream. And it's pretty much self-leveling, so it's going to run, especially on this stream is kind of running downhill, so it's definitely going to flow downhill. And just let it go where it wants. You can use a stick to kind of fill in voids if it doesn't seem to be running where you want it to. You probably can't see it, but it is running. Now I've already glued rocks and things in the bottom, and it will slow it down. You'll have spots in your river or stream where that's going to sit and pool like you want it to, but then as it goes over this waterfall, it's going to start filling in behind and coating the silicone caulk that I've put up there. So once it's kind of flowed to its point, then just start adding a little bit more. Let it fill in and flow. And again, it's pretty liquid, so it's going to flow pretty easily. And make sure that you pour that over the DAP crystal clear silicone, so that when it hardens up, it's going to have that silicone sealed, so dust and dirt won't stick to it. And it'll just flow down in behind and make it just look like the water where it's actually going to flow and run. Again, if there's some spots that it's not flowing in, just use your little stir stick and let it float in there. Get it where you want it. The magic water won't form air bubbles in it, but as you're pouring it, you may get a big air bubble in the flow, and just use your stick and pop it. And that's looking pretty good. It looks like we're done flowing. And as you get more used to mixing this and working with it, I actually mixed up 4 ounces. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough or too much, but as you do more and more, you'll kind of get used to what you need. If you run out, that's not a problem. Just go ahead and let it cure, and then mix up a little more and come back and pour another layer, or continue on, and it'll blend together. You won't even see it. As you can see here, where I put some rocks, it didn't kind of flow in between them, so I'm just working a little bit, pouring a little extra in there. Get it to flow where you want it, just like water would. And again, I'm going down over that silicone caulk, the crystal clear, creating a thicker waterfall here. And the reason you use that for the waterfalls is this will pretty much just run liquid, so if you don't have something there, it's not going to leave much of a thickness, and it really won't look like a waterfall, or water rapids, if you will, over rock. Now, most of my scenery around it isn't done. I tend to do the water first, and when we come back with the fusion fiber, we'll cover up the banks and go right down to the water's edge with the fusion fiber, so it will fill these areas up and you know, make it look a lot better. Actually, I think I'm pretty close with my 4 ounces here. It's just about the right amount that I need. Now, if you come back later and for some reason silicone, you didn't get it all covered up, don't worry about it. There's another product, Liquitex Gloss Medium. You can use that. It will stay real crystal clear, and you can brush that over the silicone and also seal that up, so you won't have to worry about it. I think we've pretty much covered all of it. Now this here, I don't really have much of a bank there. Now I will use fusion fiber and build that area up, so I'm not worried about how that looks like it's spilling out. We'll make that look with fusion fiber like there's a bank there, and won't be spilling out anywhere. Back up here to the top, it looks like a lot of it is thinned out and run down, so you can pour a little bit more up there. And as some of it sets, it'll start getting a little tacky, so anything you add to it now will probably hold a little better, look a little thicker. Again, I'm just pouring a little extra that I've got down over that silicone. Make sure it looks good when it's done. It's really pretty simple to pour water, especially using the magic water. It is a very user-friendly, simple product. Again, it doesn't crack, it doesn't yellow, it doesn't shrink. There's no bubbles in it, and it's really designed more for water effects more so than what some of the other resins are. So it will give you a really nice look. But hopefully that's given you some help to get started. We will come back with another video and show you how to paint the pond liners and how to pour those. And again, those, if you would rather buy one, we do sell those on the website. And they actually aren't shown on there per se. So if you want one custom done, give me a call, visit with me, tell me kind of what you're looking for. Look on the website, get the pond shape that you want, and we can pour them and ship them to you. All you got to do is take the template that comes with them, cut them into your diorama or layout, set them in there, and then finish around the edges. So, okay, hey, just a real quick update. We got the water cured. I did miss some of the silicone with the magic water, and it was a little bit tacky. So I came back, and the two products I'm going to give you the real quick, just the update on. The Liquitex here, it's a gloss medium varnish, and that's what I use to seal the silicone if I don't get all of it covered with the magic water. It's a super clear, looks kind of milky when you brush it on, but just brush it over that and let it dry, and it's a clear gloss finish, but it will make that cover that silicone so it's not tacky. And then the other product I use on my water is this Liquitex modeling paste. It's just a white paste, and that's what I use to create the froth or the white patches in the water and the waterfalls and the rapid water. But here's a little picture of what it looks like when I'm done. You can see here I've taken the plastic off there and sanded that down and touched that up with paint, so that's all taken care of. And then you can see the water and the little bit of white froth on the stream as it's coming down, and that's the paste, modeling paste that I use. so the water has a little bit of froth as it's coming over the rapids and the rocks. And we'll just put a little bit behind each rock in the stream where you'd have a little bit of froth flowing with the water movement, and then going up the waterfalls. And you can kind of looks like glare in the light, but that's actually some of that modeler's paste over the falls, so it has a little bit of froth in the water. So just giving you a quick update on that. The stream's pretty much done here. We're just going to let that all dry, and then we'll come back and shoot a video working with the fusion fiber, covering up the foam and making the mountains all come to life here. We'll call this one good, and we'll be back and show you the fusion fiber and finishing out this part of the mountain.